Greetings YouTube, this is LMS Tactical, making kind of a last minute video just in case there's some people that are in the path of this oncoming Hurricane Sandy that I'm sure you guys all have your act together, but just on the off chance, there's always people that wait till the last minute. Maybe they haven't been through something like this and they feel a little bit overwhelmed, not knowing if they're prepared or what they can do at such a late notice. This is Sunday, and the storm I think is due to arrive here in Virginia anyways tonight or tomorrow, with the worst of it tomorrow night, I believe. Maybe even Tuesday. But at any rate, they're calling for this to possibly be, you know, the storm of the century. And I had one guy on Twitter, when I was talking about possible weeks without electricity, he sort of, oh, come on, man, give me a break. You know, not weeks. You know, that's not going to happen. And I politely reminded him that very recently in Maryland, after our last storm, right next door to us, these people were out of electricity for weeks. Charlie, this way. Walking my dog. Come here. And I was, as many of you know, I was deployed to Katrina on 2 different occasions, and those people were out of electricity for months and months, and some of them never got it restored. So, you know, it's not beyond the realm of possibility that some of you could find yourself in that situation. So these are just a few of my tips. If, you know, don't let this be the only video that you look at in terms of preparation, because I'm no expert, and anybody that says they're an expert is probably a danger to themselves or others. There's just too much to know. So I'm going to give you some tips that I use, and hopefully you don't need them. As I've always said when I teach police tactics, my definition of panic is the brain searching for a solution and not finding one. So the way you avoid that is to have a plan. And if you haven't made a plan yet, start making it right now, right after you watch this video. There's always things you can do. So let's run down the list here. First thing, of course, all the basics. You know, you should have a gallon of water per family member per day. That's simple to do. If you can't figure out how to do that, get buckets, empty sparkless water bottles, whatever. Fill them up with water. Fill up one of your bathtubs and put the drain in it, and that way you can, you know, at least have some water for sanitation, cooking, whatever. Charlie, come on. Charlie, let's go this way. Come here. This way. Come on, let's go walking. Come here, Charlie. Charlie's being weird. Come here, Charlie. Come here. What's wrong with you? He doesn't want to go this way. All right, we'll stand right here then. So one of the things is, and I know you're noticing the beautiful fall colors around me. All these leaves will be blown off in a day or so. But yeah, so you want to have water. Hopefully you've got food. If you've got your barbecue propane tanks, make sure they're full. Run down to the local 7-Eleven or wherever you get them filled, and see if you can't, you know, get some that are full or have yours filled up, because, you know, that's always a good alternative cooking method. Speaking of which, you know to have batteries and lighting and, you know, chem lights, flashlights or whatever. But I want to remind people that if your lights go out, Charlie, come on. You don't want to light candles for a light source unless you are sure that there's no gas leak. Charlie, come here. This way. Come on. You're being weird. So, you want to make sure that that you don't... He's wrapping me up. Very hard to make a video with this dog acting weird. So you want to make sure you don't light candles until you're sure there's no gas leak. And if you don't know how to turn off the gas to your house, just Google it. There's going to be, you know, step-by-step instructions on how to do that, and everybody should know that anyways, whether you're in earthquake country or hurricane country, whatever. Another thing you want to do is you always should have a couple of go bags or emergency evacuation bags ready. Very simple to do. If you don't have backpacks, you can use a pillowcase, whatever it takes, but you want to have a couple of days worth of clothes in there and some sanitary items, maybe medications. And, you know, you can leave those in your car in case you got to evacuate. You don't want to be running around, you know, worst case scenario, your windows blow out, your roof is hanging off, and you're running through the house trying to find your medication or your car keys. Have all of that stuff pre-positioned by the front door and ready to roll, or leave the bag in the car. Don't forget your pets. It's a good idea always to have an extra leash for dogs and cats, because when you get to where you're going, you know, you don't want to have to deal with a dog that's running around, or you can't control them, and they're probably going to be freaked out anyways. And don't forget the medications and such for the dog. Security. I mean, I'm not going to belabor that issue. You guys, you're on LMS channel. You probably know how I feel about that. If you're a firearms person, you know, if you want to adhere to the laws in your area, make sure you know the laws. And also make sure that, you know, if you've got a couple extra weapons, it's not a bad idea to pre-position in a safe place a weapon in the vehicle or two, and the ammunition that goes with it. Your weapon is not going to do you any good if it's buried in a gun safe in the collapsed building that you used to live in. And, you know, nobody really likes thinking about it, but let's be honest. You know, I'm not the expert, like I said, but I've been through the LA riots in '92. I was down in Katrina. I can tell you firsthand what people do when good people, relatively good people, when they're hungry and they got to feed their family, they can turn pretty ugly. And the bad people, they're already ugly, so they're going to be opportunists. You don't want to be caught between your house and a shelter or your plan B option and, you know, have a bunch of guys come up and try to carjack you or whatever. Just be able to take care of your family and yourself. Another thing about cooking too, if you lose power for any length of time, a lot of people, the food in the fridge just rots, all the meat and stuff, the perishable goods. What you can do is, and in fact, when I leave this walk, I got to go buy a bunch of salt because that's the one thing I'm out of. Buy huge bags of salt if you can, and you can fill up a bucket of water. And what you do to make sure you have enough salt in there is you add salt and stir it up until an egg floats. When you get an egg floating, that means you have enough salt. And then you submerge your meats and perishable stuff in that salt water, and that'll preserve it for a very long time. That's an old-fashioned method that was used before refrigeration. Salt is a good preserver of meats, and it retards the decomposition of the food. So you want to have a lot of salt, and of course you got to have the water and a bucket or a container. And then, you know, you can also pull your stuff out and, you know, if it's safe to do so, barbecue it, cook it, whatever. Cooked food lasts longer than raw food. Enough about that. This is probably the most important thing. I mean, this is something I know that a lot of people don't do this, and it's a shame. If you haven't done it, I suggest you do it right after you finish this video. If you live in the path of the hurricane, you should do this as a rule no matter where you live. But certainly if you haven't done this today, do it right now. You get out your video camera and you do an exterior video shot with a date and time stamp of your house and the property, your fences, the trees, everything. And then you come in the house and you videotape each room, and you can narrate as you go. You know, this is my grandfather's china cabinet, and zoom up on the china. This is, you know, a 5,000-year-old piece of English bone china that was the prototype for all the bone china. Look at this bush. I don't know if you can see how awesome that is, but the colors here are just awesome. Oh shit. All the squirrels are running around preparing for the storm, I think, because I've never seen them act this way, and Charlie's about ready to take off. And if you see me sliding along on my face, it's because he's chasing a squirrel. So you videotape every room in the house and all your important contents, and then of course you don't set the video camera down on the dining room table so when the house collapses you don't have the tape. Well, you're doing this because this is going to solve a lot of problems and save a lot of time when you're dealing with the insurance company. You can show, I took this video Sunday before the hurricane, and here's a videotape of my 4 cars, and you see 2 of them are squished under the old elm tree. Make sure you do that, and then keep the video or the chip or whatever you do, you know, keep it in a place that's safe. You know, you can always, vehicles are safe, or put it in your go bag. Charlie, stop pulling me around. And I think that's it. If I remember something else, I'll throw it on here. But no matter what happens, you know, don't be foolish. You know, no offense. I always get text messages when I'm making YouTube videos. I'm very, very popular. Just kidding. But you know, no offense to the guy that blew me off a little bit about the electricity. But you want to be over prepared. You don't want to panic and freak out. Oh, that reminds me. Make sure if you have children that you include in the go bag things that are going to boost their morale and keep them busy. Coloring books, toys, age-appropriate stuff, chess games, if they're into that. You know, board games, small, portable, but something that'll keep them. If you end up in a shelter, you don't want them just sitting there looking at the at the walls. It'll stress them out. And morale is an important thing, so bring something for yourself too. Throw one of your books in there. Don't let the kids see you panicking, and you shouldn't panic if you have a good plan. I'm almost done here. What was the other thing I wanted to say? Damn it, I had one more thing. Shit, it'll come to me. I keep talking about Plan B. Have a family meeting today. Not a scary meeting, not a freak out meeting, but just sit down and say, hey, look, we're going to stay here tonight, if that's what you're choosing to do. If things get ugly here and the house starts to come down, we're going to go to Plan B, which is we're going to drive over to my brother-in-law's house or whatever. Go to Uncle Louie's house. If you don't have a place to go, then you need to Google now while you got power, where is the nearest emergency shelter, and have MapQuest directions in your car to whatever your Plan B location is, so that you can, make sure that in case the GPS isn't working, that you got your shit together, you know where you're going. That's it, man. This video went way longer than I intended it to go. I just wish everybody a very safe, event. Hopefully you don't suffer any damage to your house or your property, or God forbid your safety, your life. And good luck. That's it. Stay safe.